Hi, welcome back to Rachel Reveals. Let's get straight to it. Diddy didn't just adopt a random white girl off the streets. He introduced her to the world like a trophy, then erased her from it without explanation.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
Now, Jaguar Wright is saying what everyone's been afraid to admit. This wasn't a rescue. This was a cover-up. And the internet is connecting the dots between a missing child, a fake adoption, and a billionaire with way too many secrets. Let's break down the truth about Ava, the girl Diddy wants you to forget.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to find out what's really been going on in the background.
When Diddy went live on Instagram in 2020 and casually said he took in a little white girl off the streets, people barely blinked. It sounded like another celebrity flex, a feel-good humanitarian moment. But now, years later, that clip is being picked apart frame by frame, and suddenly, nothing about it feels right. He sat beside this girl, introduced her as Ava, then turned to her and said, "Tell them what happened." She awkwardly replied, "He saw me and picked me up to come in and play." It wasn't cute, it wasn't inspiring, it felt coached, like she'd been rehearsing that line for hours. And the whole vibe, off, way off. The internet didn't miss it. They started digging, and what they found made that adoption story fall apart fast. Old photos showed Ava had already been hanging around Diddy's family long before the announcement. She was spotted at events, in the background of videos, even at parties with the Combs twins. So if she was already in their world, how exactly was she from the streets? The timeline didn't match up, and that's when people stopped seeing this as a random act of kindness and started seeing it as a calculated move. Because let's be honest, Diddy doesn't do anything without an angle. That live stream wasn't just an introduction, it was a staged rollout. He wasn't adopting a child, he was presenting a product. The way he prompted her, pushed her to speak, had her call him Papa. It didn't look parental. It looked performative. The entire interaction felt like something that had been practiced, recorded, and approved. Then, radio silence. No more photos, no birthday celebrations, no appearances. Ava just vanished from the spotlight like she never existed. And that's what triggered the real questions. If this was a legitimate adoption, where's the follow-up? Where's the paperwork? Where's Ava? Because what started as a touching moment now looks a lot more like the beginning of a cover-up. After that Instagram live, Ava vanished. Completely. No family outings, no red carpet appearances, not even a birthday post. For a man like Diddy, who documents everything, that kind of silence doesn't happen by accident. People started asking, "Where's Ava?" And the answer? Nowhere. She was just gone. Then out of nowhere, Ava reappeared, but not in the way anyone expected. A short clip resurfaced, showing her quietly hanging out with the Combs twins. She looked older, but her presence felt wrong. She barely spoke. She kept her head down. Her body language screamed discomfort, like she wasn't there by choice. That one brief moment lit the internet on fire. Suddenly, people weren't just curious, they were concerned. Was she safe? Was she being hidden? Controlled? Things got darker when a TikTok account popped up under her name. The videos? Strange. The captions? Even worse. One read, "Life gets hard when you're forced into experiences you didn't ask for." That doesn't sound like a typical teenager venting online. That sounds like someone crying for help. But what really shook people were the shadows in the background. An older man, a hotel room, reflections in the mirror. Pieces that suggested someone was standing just out of frame, watching her every move. Suddenly, the missing child theory didn't feel so far-fetched. People started connecting Ava to a real girl, Ava Grace Baldwin, a 6-year-old who went missing in 2015. And the resemblance? Chilling. Same face, same curls, same dimples. Side-by-side photos went viral, and now the internet couldn't look away. Because this wasn't just about Diddy adopting a child. This was about a girl who might have been taken, then hidden in plain sight. And if that's true, then we're not just talking about a shady celebrity stunt. We're talking about a potential cover-up involving a missing child. Just when the internet thought this story couldn't get darker, Jaguar Wright stepped in. And when Jaguar talks, people listen. She's not afraid to name names, burn bridges, or expose what most celebs tiptoe around. Jaguar didn't just question Diddy's adoption of Ava, she torched it. She claimed Ava wasn't adopted at all. She was acquired. Like a transaction. Like a prop. Like a power move. According to Jaguar, Ava wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. Because this isn't just about Diddy. It's about a network. She says there are powerful men in entertainment collecting children under the disguise of philanthropy, hiding behind charities, private schools, and staged live streams like the one Diddy did. She even drew comparisons to Madonna, pointing out how celebrities adopt kids from broken backgrounds. But unlike Madonna, who had paperwork and legal filings, no one could find anything on Ava. No court documents, no adoption certificates, not even a legal mention of her name. And then came the bombshell. Jaguar hinted that the people closest to Diddy, his sons, his team, his lawyers, knew. One lawsuit even named Christian Combs, Diddy's son, as part of an alleged assault case tied to a yacht party. That's the same family Ava was left alone with. So now the question becomes, if Jaguar's right, and Diddy's not the only one involved, how deep does this go? How many other children have disappeared under the radar? Because if Ava's story is just the one we happen to notice, what else is happening behind closed doors? By now, one thing is painfully clear. This wasn't a quiet adoption. It was a production. That Instagram Live wasn't just some casual family moment. It was a staged rollout. Diddy sat center frame, Ava beside him, coached and uncomfortable. He told her to call him Papa. He fed her lines. He pushed her to introduce herself like she was on a reality show, not entering a new life. At one point, she nervously stammered, "I'm Ava. I'm a Scorpio," then shifted between names. Ava, Ava Combe, Ava Varen Combe-Mies, as if she didn't even know who she was supposed to be. That wasn't cute. That wasn't quirky. That was a child being rebranded. And if you watched closely, she looked like she was waiting for approval after every sentence. That's not a daughter. That's a performance piece. The problem? People bought it. For a while. Until Ava's body language started doing the talking. She appeared in family bake-off videos. Quiet, withdrawn, flinching when someone got too close. She was never laughing, never interacting, just sitting in the background like she didn't belong. People started saying it outright. She looked scared. Because let's be real, if this was really a safe, loving family situation, why did it feel so forced? Why did every interaction look like a script? Even Diddy's other kids were all smiles, energy, chaos. Exactly what you'd expect from a bunch of siblings messing around on camera. But Ava? She sat like a guest, like a stranger, like someone told to sit still and smile. The whole thing gave more PR stunt than parenthood. And that's when Jaguar Wright's warnings started to hit different. Because if this was all just for optics, what was really happening behind the scenes? Here's where things get disturbing. Really disturbing. People weren't just questioning Diddy's motives anymore. They started asking a much bigger question. Who is Ava really? That's when internet detectives made a chilling connection between Ava Barron and a real missing girl, Ava Grace Baldwin, who vanished in 2015 at just 6 years old. Side-by-side comparisons hit TikTok and Reddit like wildfire. Same dimples, same curls, same wide-set eyes. The resemblance was unsettling, too close to ignore. And here's the kicker. Ava Grace Baldwin's case was never solved. No confirmed sightings, no public leads, just gone. And now, suddenly, a girl who looks exactly like her shows up in the home of a billionaire with a long list of disturbing allegations. No paperwork, no explanation, no accountability. That's not just suspicious, that's horrifying. The theory caught fire when Ava's alleged TikTok account posted captions like, Life gets hard when you're forced into experiences you didn't ask for. It didn't sound like a teenager being dramatic. It sounded like a survivor. And it got even darker. Viewers zoomed in on the videos and spotted reflections, shadows of an older man, the edge of a phone, what looked like hotel furniture. Not a dad in the background, not a cozy home vibe. It looked like monitoring, control, surveillance. At that point, the theory stopped being a theory for some people. It became a plea for answers. Was Ava Barron actually Ava Grace Baldwin? Was this even an adoption? Or was it a cover-up for a kidnapping? And if that's the case, then the man who introduced her to the world with a smile may have been hiding the darkest secret of all. Because now the world isn't just asking, where is Ava? They're asking, was she ever supposed to be found? Jaguar Wright didn't just throw Diddy under the bus. She blew up the entire road he was standing on. Because to her, this isn't just about one missing girl. It's about a system, one designed to protect the powerful and silence the victims. A system where billionaires can adopt children with no documentation, parade them around on live streams, and then erase them from the public eye with zero consequences. Jaguar said it loud and clear. Ava is not the only one. According to her, there are more kids, more adoptions, more secrets hidden behind closed doors. She claims she has names, paperwork, messages, even proof. But every time she gets close to revealing it, the threats get louder. At one point, she went live in tears, saying, "If something happens to me, y'all know why." And let's be honest, if this was all just conspiracy talk, if it was all fake, why is she being threatened at all? Why is she afraid for her life? Meanwhile, the music industry stays dead silent. No labels are speaking out. No insiders are coming forward. And Diddy? He's watching his empire slowly crack. Sponsorships pulled, friends backing away, brands distancing. His once invincible image is falling apart, piece by piece. But the scariest part? Even with all of that, no one has explained what happened to Ava. The girl who nervously sat next to Diddy. The girl with the awkward smile and the too perfect introduction. The girl who might not be who he claimed she was. Where is she now? Why hasn't she spoken for herself? And why does it feel like everyone with power wants this story buried? Because if Jaguar is telling the truth, and she has the receipts, this isn't just a scandal. It's a bomb about to go off. At this point, the stories, the videos, the comparisons, the cryptic captions, they all lead to one haunting, unavoidable truth. Ava never confirmed anything, not once. Not in that live stream, not in a family interview, not in a single post, video, or public statement. We've seen Diddy speak, we've seen Jaguar speak. But Ava? Nothing. No denial, no clarification, not even a, "I'm okay." And that silence, it's deafening. Because let's ask the real question here. If this was just a simple, legal adoption, if Ava is happy, safe, and cared for, why hasn't she said so herself? A single 30-second video could shut down every theory, every rumor, every headline. But we haven't gotten that. Instead, we've gotten disappearing acts, surveillance shadows, and digital whispers that feel more like SOS signals than selfies. And when you stack that silence next to Diddy's growing legal chaos, his disappearing business deals, and Jaguar's escalating claims, it becomes impossible to brush off. This is no longer about clout. It's no longer just gossip. It's about a child whose entire existence was introduced with a camera and then erased without explanation. And now, we're all left with the same burning question. Where is the real Ava? Because until she speaks for herself, until we see her, hear from her, and know she's safe, every theory, every post, every cryptic video, they only get louder. And that's where we leave it. Not with answers, but with echoes. Because sometimes, the loudest stories are the ones no one tells. The ones buried under NDAs, masked in carefully curated PR, and silenced by fear, power, or something even darker. This isn't just another internet mystery. This is a growing storm of silence, secrecy, and suspicion that refuses to die. So until Ava steps into the light, on her own terms, in her own voice, we're left piecing together fragments and asking the question no one seems willing to answer out loud. Where is Ava, really? Thanks for watching Rachel Reveals. Stay curious, stay critical, and don't forget, silence doesn't mean nothing happened. Sometimes it means everything did. Subscribe for more deep dives they don't want you to see.